back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. A big welcome to my beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for your supportive comments in the comments section, especially to me and to each other. If you have found yourself here for the very first time, we would love to have you join our beautiful soul family here by subscribing to the channel, hitting your notification bell, and be sure to drop me a comment so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me, because I offer that option here as a thank you to my subscribers. And I will be drawing a new name shortly for that. So be sure to drop your comment below and hit your notification bell. If you are new to the channel, please pull up a chair and get cozy, because we're going to have a little chat, and we're all friends when we gather here together. I do pick a card readings on this channel. Today's pick a card reading is all about a message from your inner child. So your inner child wants to talk to you today. We have 3 piles to choose from. Pile number 1 here with the Horton Hears a Who book. And I believe this is the Kawaii Tarot. Pile number 2 with the Green Eggs and Ham book and the Happy Tarot. And pile number 3 with the Joie de Vivre Tarot and the Cat in the Hat book. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be a message waiting today from your inner child, from your spiritual team, and my timestamps are listed below. But I'm going to jump right into pile number 1. Again, today your inner child has a message for you that you need to hear. So a message from your inner child. Pile number 1. Hello, pile 1, you were drawn to the Little Horton Hears a Who book here and to the Kawaii Tarot. What I love about Horton Hears a Who is the line, the prominent line in that book that says, a person is a person no matter how small. And so you may be resonating with that message already from your inner child, because you may not have been treated like that perhaps, but a person is a person no matter how small. So let's take a look here at what your inner child wants to talk to you about today. Okay, we have the 10 of coins and we have the Strength card. So already your inner child is saying that your upbringing, the way that you were raised, really tested that resolve and tested your strength. And you really, as much as you may have experienced a really frustrating youth, you may have experienced a very trying childhood as well. But your inner child says it made us so strong, even though it wasn't fair that we had to be strong there. You have the 8 of Cups, the 4 of Coins, and the 5 of Swords. Yeah. So your inner child is really focusing on the conflict that is still present in you because of the influence of that environment. And they're here to say that you were so brave and we were so strong in powering through, and that we can, because we powered through that, and they're like, we were so little, we powered through that, look what we can accomplish today. Nothing can stop us because of what we have went through already. Nothing can stop us. But they are acknowledging that the internal conflict is still there, that these thoughts still permeate, that you still are plagued with perhaps memories and thoughts from the past that have a control over you. And so it's really limiting you. It's limiting your experience. It's making you feel insecure about perhaps building a future, a future environment like this of your own, building up a family. And so your inner child is speaking about the necessity to release the emotion from the past. And the 8 of Wands. Yeah, so we're going from like a really unfulfilling situation into like the unknown. We're being shot into the ethereal, like a shooting like a shooting star with this 8 of Wands. And that's what your inner child really wants now. Your inner child really wants a respite from all of the internal conflict that has been plaguing you from the time you were little into this present moment. Memories are like memories are thoughts, which means they don't exist anymore. They're not real. They're just memories. And the future holds so much more potential than what our memories have limited us to. We have the Queen of Cups. Back of the deck is the 2 of Wands. And we have the Knight of Swords. And there's a beautiful message coming through for someone here from their inner child about your future as a parent, even coming forward, and how you perhaps are really insecure that you're going to be able to be an effective parent because you weren't treated important. Like you weren't treated like an importance. And that's why I keep getting my attention drawn back to the Horton here. Because even Horton, he's an elephant, which is talking about endurance and everything that you endured and the stamina that you showed, the strength that you showed, the leadership now that you've showed as well in enduring all of that, and how good luck is now on your side. But you weren't treated like you should have been. And that's an acknowledgement, and that's not your fault. Your inner child says, that's not our fault. I've come to realize it's not our fault, but it's our responsibility now to move forward. We have the Six of Wands. The Nine of Pentacles. Your inner child too is just so proud of everything you've accomplished that you minimize to yourself. When you're internally conflicted and you feel stuck in the past and you feel insecure about what your capabilities are because you second guess what you're able to accomplish. But you know what's beautiful about you that your inner child says is your heart, and how big it is and how expansive it is, and how generous you are with yourself and with your heart. And that's nothing like what you experienced. The Strength, Leo energy, very strong here. Knight of Swords. Your inner child says that sometimes we spend so much time like really thinking about the past because we're trying to make sense of it. It's like we're trying to go back into the past sometimes and figure out, why would they ever do that? Why would it ever possess someone to act like that or treat someone like that? Like, we try to unravel the actions of other people, and that's just fruitless sometimes, because all it does is confuse us further. So your inner child says you've been trying to wrap your mind around it. You've been trying to make sense of it, and there is no sense to something like that. There is no sense to how you were treated, or you were passed over, you were overlooked, or you were ignored. There's no sense to that. So there's no use trying to gather more information about that dynamic, because we've already experienced it. It's already run its course. And now it's okay for us to go charging forward without the benefit of knowing what's coming, because your inner child says what's coming for you is so much better than where you're sitting and where you've come from. But they also want to highlight everything you've already done, that you sometimes skirt over, that you sometimes minimize. Like, look how strong you are. Look what you've done. You've made it through the worst moments of your life. You've made it through 100% of your worst days, and you did it alone. You were independent when you did that. Every single time, if you really think back to every moment in your childhood, every moment when, even presently, when you're at your lowest moment, of course we have people of support sometimes around us, but ultimately you're the one that put in the work to overcome that moment of despair. And because of that, your inner child is like rallying around you, so excited, screaming out victory. It's like, we've done it, we've made it. And now they just want you to see that too, because they're like, oh my gosh, we are a person. We are a person. And you've shown that because of your actions and your resolve and your strength. And they just want you, they want to hold a mirror up in front of you. Your inner child wants to hold a mirror up in front of you because you don't see yourself, because you're still listening to all of the information that those people told you or said about you. You don't see yourself the way that you should. You look at yourself in the scope of people who gave you those impressions of yourself. We adopt impressions about ourselves. We pile on these expectations of other people when our purpose here is to peel off the layers of who we think we are. So your inner child is holding up that mirror, saying that you're worthy, you are powerful, and don't be afraid of your own heart. And don't be afraid too, especially if this message is resonating with you, that you're worried about your capability as a parent. You're worried about your capability of nurturing other people. That unknown, that burden, you don't need to worry about that. They want you to surrender that worry, because worry is wasteful and useless. Just like Jewel says. I love that song. I always make that comment, but I love that song. Because the truth is that what you gained there was an insight that is very unique, that you can fuel yourself with confidence knowing that that's not who you are. That's not who you are. And they don't want you to fear the unknown. They want you to leap into it. For someone watching, I feel like you could be hesitant to even move into new cycles, new emotional cycles, and maybe really difficult for you to keep that heart space open because you don't want to be hurt anymore. And your inner child says the only way that we can continue growth, the only way that we can reach the Nine of Cups, like you've reached the Nine of Pentacles, and that's amazing. But now I want to go to the Nine of Cups. That's what your inner child is saying. Like, I want to feel amazing. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel smug that I made it this far. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to open up my heart again. Let's open up this heart. Let's take a risk. Let's take a risk and let's just seize that opportunity today, because there's so much waiting for you. So they want you to be impulsive about your goals. They want you to be impulsive, especially if your goals towards helping others, being a healer. I feel like there's a healing energy coming in. Your inner child's like, go for it. If you're faltering about, maybe I won't make a good parent. Or maybe you're worried that you are already a parent and you're worried that you're doing a terrible job, or you're worried about the influence of the past rearing its ugly head. Your inner child says you can detach from that now. It's okay. You can detach from that now. Messages from your inner child, please. Pile 1 here. We have perspective. And as I said, they're holding a mirror up in front of you, and here is that mirror. You're not, and I heard that line from that Drew Barrymore movie. I'm not Josie Grossi anymore. There's this feeling of like your inner child reaching out from this picture to touch you, to remind you that we're weaving our own destiny here. And all of these memories that we're holding so strictly that are keeping us imprisoned, those have flown the coop. You can see it's just a feather left in there. And instead now the feather is this reflection of healing that is now needing to take the place of those permanent thoughts that have held us in place, because she's holding on to this rose of empowerment. So your inner child is even encouraging you, if you need to write letters of exit, for instance, letters of goodbye, letters that you'll never send, perhaps, but just releasing. Writing down things can be a great way to purge it out, and that may be something you tangibly need to do. Take physical, tangible steps to purge something out. There's this message coming from your inner child too about how people in your life when you were younger may have made you feel kind of like an emotional beggar. It's like you were begging for people's affection, or you were working so hard you would do anything to just get their affection, and that's something, again, that you weren't deserving of that. We have the rabbit. And this whole experience, here's the skull at the back of the deck, this whole experience may have sort of made you really anxious in starting new things or opening up to new people. But the rabbit is about new beginnings that are coming in for you, like the Page of Wands, new beginnings for you to explore. And it's like your inner child is coming in to give you permission, give you permission to be like, let's go towards the desires of our heart now. Because the skull is a symbol of reality. And so your inner child's not trying to negate everything you've been through, because she was the one that he was the one who went through it. But it also is a symbol of transition. It does spark on the grief that we experience during that transition, but it allows us to move away from it. So it's acknowledging the pain, it's acknowledging the loss, but now it's a call for us to move forward so that we can release into brand new opportunities. Because once we release, we will feel so much lighter. It's like the world will be lifted off of our shoulders. And your inner child says, we've been planning this way too long. It's time to start executing it. Messages from your inner child, please. We have here giraffe spirit. See the big picture. Scope outwards, span outwards so that you can see the big picture. This 9 and 2 is an 11 energy. So it's talking about the truth of a situation that can't be unseen. It's the truth of a situation. You may feel the necessity to bring the truth to light if you've been suppressing it, to protect other people, for instance. That's not for everyone. That's a specific message for someone. But it's talking about new pathways, new opportunities opening up for you, new pathways of the heart even opening up for you that you're afraid to enter into. And you have every tool in your arsenal to be able to accomplish anything you want. So you have this ability to trust in your higher self too. Your higher self is coming forward saying, I'm working collaboratively. It's like the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit here. It's the divine Trinity. We're working together. You're not alone in this. You're not alone in this. And so you don't need to fear the unknown, because you have so many souls and so many energies around you helping you to face that unknown. We have here time to heal. It's time. Your inner child says it's time. And they're just so proud of everything you've accomplished. And they're like, now it's time to heal the heart space. You've conquered perhaps the world. From the outside, people would probably never even assume that you had anything rough happening in the past. But now it's time to conquer the heart space. I just saw this idea is divinely guided as I was picking up this deck. So maybe, oh, we have help is coming. You can manifest love and believe in what you are capable of. Messages from their inner child, please. Don't be scared, but change is coming. And it's exactly what you need. It's time to stop looking backwards. We hear your soul screaming out for help. And your guides are stepping forward with some of these messages too, because it wasn't gone unnoticed in the past. But unfortunately, our guides can't step in to stop the behaviors of other people. They can't interfere with that energy. So they were there with you. It's time to seek counsel for your anxiety. So if you are suffering from ruminating energy, if you're suffering from flashbacks or anxiety or depression, your inner child says it's time for us to talk to somebody. It's time for us to be vulnerable and let the world in. We are so proud of you. Your loved ones in heaven are so proud of you. And divine timing is at play here. Back of the deck says, the tongue has the power of life or death. Guard it. So when we speak negatively about ourselves, we're the first ones to hear it. So your inner child says it's time to stop speaking so negatively about yourself as well. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile number 1. A charm bowl, please, for pile 1. A message from their inner child in the bowl. 10 of Wands. And now the 10 of Wands is coming out reversed because it's time to unleash our burdens. It's time to let them go and lighten our load a little bit, which has been a big struggle for us moving forward here. But now we have this lover's energy. We may not have had the awareness back then to be able to step outside of ourselves and to be able to not feel the emotions. And we didn't have that capability. And your inner child's saying that. I didn't have the toolkit then. I was kind of going at it blind. But now we have awareness. Now we have discernment. Now we can use this lover's energy to see things from every angle, not just from the pain perspective, but from every single angle, so that we can choose and make a choice to power through with determination, so that we can put those wands down, so we can lighten up our load, because the weight of the world has been on us for way too long, and you were way too little to carry it in the first place. And that's not your fault, but now we're strong enough now to stand up and power through. We have here N and F. We have the Wheel of Fortune coming in for you. We have a double-edged razor and Christmas. Christmas is flipped over, so I don't know if maybe there was like something negative that happened around December or Christmas. We have here the Chariot with the Pegasus energy here. So look, it's about movement and being pulled in different directions with the Chariot, but being able to look above the emotional perspective. Working on that. That's what your inner child wants you to work on, is working on being able to rise above the emotional attachment that still has on us. Because it's the devil that's keeping this devil energy with I think of the ego when I see the dragon. And the dragon is covered in scales. So we put on this suit of self-protection, but we still have that soft spot. So we have to open up our heart space if we want to continue the healing process. All right, pile 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonated. Please drop me a comment below if it did, so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading if you feel called to. We would love to get words of encouragement back to you, and we just have a beautiful soul family here that is just so supportive of each other, and I'm just so proud of being a part of it. I also offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below as well. But I hope that you come back for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile 2. You were drawn to the Happy Tarot here, or to the green eggs and ham little icon, and this is your reading. A message from your inner child today. And the green eggs and ham book is all about sort of Sam chasing around that character, trying to get him to try something new. So it's like your inner child is coming forward with this situation on a platter that they're trying to get your attention about, but you're just not listening. So we'll see what they want to say to you today. Ooh. King of or 4 of Pentacles. And if any card can describe the scenario of green eggs and ham, it's this one, the Four of Pentacles. It's somebody who's like, I don't want to try anything new. I'm scared to try anything new. I'm scared to step outside of my comfort zone. So your inner child is definitely trying to get your attention. Here's the Ten of Swords already showing itself on the back of the deck, because they're trying to precipitate the end of a cycle, perhaps a really insecure cycle, and start to usher in something really new that they know you'll love, but you're just dragging your feet. Messages from your inner child, please. We have the Two of Wands. The Knight of Cups. The Moon. The Death and the Three of Swords. Back of the deck is the Seven of Wands. And we have the Three of Cups. Okay, let's clarify this. Message from your inner child, please, for pile number. Let me use this little deck. Your inner child, pile 2, for some of you, they're trying to implement a new shift in love for you. They see something coming in that will be wonderful for you, but you're just not ready yet. Or you're in this stage of like, I don't want love. I just want to have fun. It's like I'm closing off my heart chakra because I've been hurt. And your inner child feels that pain. They know that you've been hurt because they are one with you, but they've been chasing you around with this other opportunity. It's like the Knight of Cups coming in, chasing you around with this other opportunity, or this recognition of like, this stage is over. Don't fear the unknown, because they know that if you can push through this, and if you will just try this new pathway, you'll like it. It's like, try it, you'll like it. And there's this sense of sort of celebration. And what I'm seeing here is not just a celebration, but it's like your higher self, your inner child celebrating together, because it's communicating to the universe not only that you're ready for a new practical start, an emotional start, but you're also kind of leveling up energetically and vibrationally, because you are now pushing through obstacles instead of running away from them or letting fear take over at that time. Message from your inner child, please. Queen of Wands. Be a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius here with the Queen of Wands. Your inner child says too that you spend too much time concerned about what other people think of you, and that you compare yourself to other people too, when you're completely individual. Like, there's no one in the world like you. You're having a very unique experience, but as the collective, we often will look at everyone else and compare ourselves to their journey. And your inner child says we can't do that anymore. We have to surrender to the future. And right now they say that this Two of Wands is about making plans. It's like, let's make plans to clear out clutter. Let's make plans to surrender that insecurity, the fear of the unknown. Let's make plans now to do that, so that when this offer pops up, when this person, because it feels like a person coming in for some, comes in, you're not going to hesitate. Even if there's fear there, you're going to go in with legs trembling perhaps, but you're going to go for it. Because this is, and they're so adamant. That's why your inner child wants to talk to you, because maybe you made it a habit to drag your feet in different realms of your life. And your inner child is like chasing you around, trying to get you to try things that are new, trying to get you to inch out of your comfort zone. Because these are habits that may have been instilled when you were a child, for instance. But now they say that we've evolved to a higher level of awareness. It's like we've leveled up, we're bigger, we're stronger, we're more confident, and we can take all of that and we can usher in to a brand new frequency. Because this Four of Wands, it's not just a rebirth they're trying to convince you to take. They're like, this person could be the one you're going to commit with. This could be your person. So it's really important that you listen to your inner child, so that you don't hesitate with actually implementing practical steps. Because your inner child says that you're really good at kind of being interested in new prospects and exploring them a little bit, but you hesitate a little bit because you're afraid to take that first step, or you're afraid to really fall into it completely. The Page of Cups. You can see here the page is wearing a music, wearing headphones here. It's a sense of music raising the vibration too. But when we don't listen to the notes of intuition, when we have naysayers, when we start to worry or those fears creep up inside of us, your inner child says, just plug your ears. Just plug your ears. You won't hear it. And that's what your inner child is saying. If you start to have that fear that creeps in every time that you're about to go through a gateway, your inner child says, just don't listen to it. Let's just not listen to it. Let's just go through. Because if you do, it's a brand new emotional start. It's a brand new emotional start, which will heal your heart, they said. They're acknowledging, like, I know that we were hurt. It's going to heal our heart. We're moving out of an old cycle into something brand new. And here's that 10 of Wands, and there's the Page of Wands. And they're even acknowledging, they're like, I know that you don't feel ready, but if you never try it, you'll never know. It's like, if you try it, you'll like it. At the end of that book from Green Eggs and Ham, at the end of the book, he says, thank you, Sam, I am, because he's so grateful that he took the advice. And so your inner child is a little bit smug, saying, you're going to be happy if you take my advice. And they're like, you don't even have to commit to anything. We're not telling you that this person coming forward next is like the end all be all and you have to go into it. But your inner child's like, why don't you just take a look? Why don't you just explore it and see where it leads you? Surrender to this exploration. Surrender to this new emotional start. Maybe, just maybe, it'll unburden the pain that you've been holding on to. Maybe you'll like it. And if you don't, you never have to try it again. That's what I heard. You know, when your parents are trying to get you to eat something and they're trying to get you to try something new and they're like, take one bite. If you don't like it, you can put it down. And that's what your inner child is saying. But they're like, I know that you're going to like it. We have here the Wall. They say that you've been building up protection to try to protect yourself. But now that same protective element that you've built up for yourself now has to be brought down brick by brick by brick so you can escape it, so that you can actually expand your horizons a little bit. And we have here transformation. It's coming out reverse because there's an acknowledgement that you're kind of closed off to it. You can see she's literally taking a bite out of the apple. And that's what we're talking about, is this platter of food that Sam is trying to get him to eat. There's this big rebirth. There's so much potential waiting here in this doorway that's showing up for you in love. And so your inner child says that they're trying to coax you out. They're trying to coax you out with the potential, with the assurance that there's so much waiting for you there. And they're hoping that you'll take a bite out of it. They're hoping that you'll take a nibble out of this collective or this reading today, so that you'll give yourself even a little bit of grace to explore it slightly. Because every time you do that, it's going to start to snowball. And then ultimately, this Page of Cups is going to turn into the big rebirth that you deserve. And it's going to turn into this it's going to turn into the Three of Cups. And here's the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is you rebuilding, planting new seeds. Back of the deck is the Spider, an air element energy. Your inner child says it's time for us to weave a new destiny for ourselves and not keep ourselves hidden, because what we've built for ourselves right now is starting to suppress some potential in the emotional realm, and it's time for you to open up your heart space. Messages from your inner child, please. You have here time to go. It's time. It's time to go. It's time to walk through this gateway. It's time to walk through this gateway. It's time to walk through this gateway. Even though we're fearful because of what we've just experienced or what we've experienced in the past, your inner child says that I'll lead you through. I'm not scared. It's kind of, I just heard that song in my head about I'm going on a bear hunt. I'm not scared. We have here the eight community card. I was going to say Eight of Pentacles. It's coming out reverse. You feel alone, but look at this even higher version of yourself touching the nose of your inner child. It's like, you're not alone. We're doing it together. This is a collaborative effort. Back of the deck says why reversed. And that's what your inner child says. It's like, we spend too much time pontificating the whys and the hows, and you're so smart that sometimes you come up with all of these reasons why you shouldn't leap forward. But that's when your inner child says it's time to block off any sort of naysaying. It's time for us to just take that leap of faith. Back of the deck says Spirit has a plan. Koala Spirit has a plan. And you can see the koala is sitting out on that limb. And right next to the koala are a bunch of leaves, the leaves of change. And so there's this feeling of having to go out on a limb in order to create the change that you deserve. And you'll be really, really glad that you did. Peacock spirit, let it shine. 46. And I like this because you can see the heart space is wide open here on the peacock. It's leading through the heart space, and that's all your inner child is asking you to do. It's leading you to a very dependable partner is what I feel. This feels like a very strong love energy that's coming through for you. And although there is vulnerability required to enter into this, and I feel like they're even going to show up like knights in shining armor, like they're going to be putting forward their best face. So it's almost going to feel too perfect for us or something, but Spirit wants you to be vulnerable anyway, because this is somebody who could help you build a life together. The two of you, there could be commitments in the future here for someone watching in this next love cycle. So it's really, really important for us to let our heart space shine, because that's how we're going to be led to this crowning energy, how we're going to be led to the 10s, to the community cards. Back of the deck says, love is all around you. Nightingale spirit, you just have to listen. And there's something about music. There's a musical element. So you could be receiving signs and symbols from your inner child through music, through the radio, for instance. So pay attention to auditory messages that may come in for you. Messages from your inner child, please. We have here, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? For someone, this opportunity's already been upon you. Like this person has already kind of stepped forward and you're dragging your feet a little bit. And you could be telling yourself, well, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. But Spirit says when we have a wait and see attitude, we're actually communicating to the universe that we don't have control over anything. And instead, we need to communicate that we're going to make a plan that suits us and see how that is executed and see where that takes us. You are not alone. You're being guided by your higher self, your inner child. Pray, have faith, and don't worry. That is a quote from St. Padre Pio. Pray, hope, and don't worry. That's all the advice that we need in life, is to pray, have faith, and don't worry. Open your arms to receive your abundance. Change is scary, but regret will be scarier. And there's a lot to regret here because there's so much celebration happening on the other side. Stop getting in your own way. Your future also includes travel. I just saw a proposal is on its way to you. Divine timing is at play here. And the back of the deck says, when you feel all alone, we are with you. So you're never, ever alone. You have a team of souls that you can call in for support. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile 2. Charm bowl, please, and a message from their inner child. Pile number 2. 2 of Pentacles. You've been on the fence about something. You've been on the fence about something when it comes to making moves, or really, you could be communicating with someone right now, perhaps online. That's not for everyone, but for someone, you could be communicating with somebody right now, or there's just like a back and forth between the two of you, and there's a lot of attraction there. And if you haven't met this person, they're going to show up very soon. Spirit and your inner child says they're going to show up soon. That's why they want you to clear out this clutter now, because delaying everything here is just delaying this Empress energy. And look at how abundant she is. She's surrounded by greenery. She's covered in pomegranates. She's sitting very comfortably. She's the essence of sensuality and abundance and love. There's maternal energy surrounding her. So there's just so much waiting for you. Nothing but abundance. I wouldn't want to pull any other card in the future here than this beautiful Empress. So your inner child says, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? So if this person hasn't shown up, they're going to show up soon. If they're already in your life, your inner child says, I'm chasing you around with this gift. Would you please take it off of my hands? We have the heart, the chakras out here. So a blockage in our chakras that needs to be cleared out. We have L. We have an apple of temptation. And we have here, give a girl the right shoes and she can conquer the world. A quote from Marilyn Monroe. And we have here Aries energy. Aries energy. So you could be in Aries with this beautiful Queen of Wands. And Aries are really good at like bursting out with energy. And so your inner child wants to remind you of who you are. Straighten your crown. We have a hospital energy here. So hospital, or hospital as far as job, work connection. All right, my dears, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates. Please drop me a comment below if you feel called to, so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. And be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can reach out to you and get contact with you if you are chosen. I'll be drawing a name soon. And congratulations to Carla, this month's winner. You can check out my Etsy account for a personal reading if you feel called to. But come back and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 3. You are drawn to the Cat in the Hat or to the Joie de Vivre Tarot, and this is your reading. A message from your inner child today. What does your inner child need you to hear? The Cat in the Hat knows a lot about that. That's what I always think about when I see this book. And it really speaks to sort of strength too, because it's the cat with the hat, which is a status of, or a status symbol, a complacency situation. So your inner child may want to talk to you about your position, and about strength that you need to draw upon. So let's see what, I just keep hearing that line from the book, that I know it is wet and the sun is not sunny, but we can have lots of good fun that is funny. So let's see what your inner child wants to talk to you about group 3. A message from your inner child today. We have here the Devil and the 3 of Coins. Ooh, Page of Wands and the 5 of Cups. We have the 2 of Swords. The Page of Coins. And we have the Fool. Back of the deck, we have the Moon. Ace of Cups. Now, this has a similar energy to pile 2, actually, with a little bit of a different vibe coming through, because it's not just primarily focused on emotional new starts. There is a climate of change as far as career potentially too, but let's get into it, because your inner child really wants to talk to you about your habit of taking too long to make decisions, your habit of not being a watcher instead of a doer in life. It's like you're holding yourself back from so many different opportunities and interests and things that you're interested in because you're afraid or you're fearful or insecurity takes over. You could have an anxious personality perhaps here with the Devil, but it's like this insecurity really plagues us a lot, and it stops us from being able to build what we can build. And so your inner child says that we have so much more potential, we have so much more in us, but we have to stop being so scared and start, because we'll end up regretting every time we don't do something, we're going to end up regretting it. So they are indicating that there is an opportunity and coming forward for you, that they don't want you to fall back into habits that you have adopted over time, perhaps even since childhood, because they're really adamant that we weave our own destiny and we can't expect things to change until we change things and we change how we approach situations, how we approach opportunities. And right now with the Moon, you can see there's this star energy being reflected on the ground. There's a dragonfly, because the dragonfly is about huge transformation, but we have to do it. We have to be hungry for it. And so your inner child says that some of these insecurities were rooted in the past, and it's like I adopted them. I'm the one that adopted these insecurities because I was scared. I didn't have the awareness that you have now. I didn't have the foresight that you have now, or the experience behind my belt that you have now. And so all I'm left with is this energy moving forward. It's like now we have the capability, now we have the wherewithal, now we have the ability to take leaps of faith, and now I'm counting on you to do that. Because there's this opportunity that could lead to all sorts of new emotional starts for you in a lot of different realms, but it's imperative that you take it, because no one's going to do it for us. And right here in the 2 of Swords, your inner child is worried that you're too blocked off, you're too protected, your heart space, you're too afraid of change, that you won't either see the opportunity or you'll see it and you'll just kind of watch it drift by. And they're saying you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. Now, for some, this is an opportunity in the work realm. For others, this is an opportunity coming forward to shift into a more fulfilling love realm. So let's clarify here the Devil. Ace of Cups. And you'll notice that the Ace of Cups here, it's a hat, and we start with the cat in the hat, which again is a status symbol, right? It's something that we become complacent in because of our position. We have the 8 of Cups. We have the Wheel of Fortune. They're also adamant that this opportunity that's coming forward for you, it's not going to be dangled in front of us forever. It's going to have an expiry date, so to speak. So it's really important, especially in the job realm here, that we don't delay too much, that we're not passive about the opportunity, because otherwise, if we let this mouse, you know, when I think of a mouse, I think about an animal scurrying into the darkness as soon as the light is turned on. And so if we do that, this, you can see the dodo bird here, the opportunity will go the way of that dodo. So we don't want that. We don't want an extinction of that opportunity. So they're just, your inner child says, let's not be passive this time. Let's do things afraid. They're not asking you to not be afraid. They're like, I'm afraid. I was afraid all the time. And every time I was afraid, I didn't push myself out of my comfort zone. And now we've still adopted that mentality. But it's led us to unfulfilling situations. It's led us to be unsatisfied. And we deserve the desires of our heart. And it's like your inner child is saying, I'm ready for satisfaction. I'm ready for emotional resets. I'm ready for emotional happiness. I'm ready to feel smug in my own position. They're just ready. They're ready for change. And you're on the precipice of change here. The Empress. The message is, it's coming in very, very heavy for both the work realm and the emotional realm, though, but it's linked, right? Like every time we take steps towards abundance in one realm, our confidence soars and we feel like we can take on anything. We can feel like we can make changes in any possible realm in our life. And ultimately, that's what your inner child says, like you're limitless. So let's not limit ourselves anymore. This Page of Pentacles, Spirit says it's leading to so much abundance overall. And that abundance is going to look different for everyone because I'm dealing with collective energy today. But this Empress embodies all of that. She's abundant with family. She's got lots of children. She's very attractive. Everyone loves her. She's comfortable. She's just everything beautiful about the divine feminine. And she sits in major comfort because she deserves to be there. And so this is what you're kind of allowing yourself to have if you give way to new opportunities. You're giving yourself permission to be like, you know what, I'm ready for comforts. I'm ready for abundance, whatever that looks like. I'm ready for emotional abundance. I'm ready for financial abundance, and I deserve it. And when we take advantage of opportunities as they present, that's what we're communicating to the universe. Of like, yes, this is made for me. Abundance is made for me. Of course I'm going to take it. Of course I'm not going to be passive towards it because it's made for me. And every good thing flows naturally to me. They say, your inner child says that if you're scared, that's okay, that you can push through it. That fear that wells up, you can transmute that into strength and you can push through that fear. And they also want you to say, they want to say to you that, you know, I may have adopted this fear mindset in the past, but before I adopted that, I would throw myself off couches. I would throw myself off, I'd roll around the grass. I was sure that I'd always be caught because I had this confidence that only a child can have. And your inner child is bringing that confidence back to you. It's like, I want to give it back to you. I want to give you back that moment in our lives when I was so confident that I was sure that nothing bad could ever happen to me. And that's the mentality. That's why the Bible says, you know, the kingdom of heaven belongs to little children, because little children truly lead from a heart space of love. They don't lead, they don't even, it's like certain consequences, certain ramifications don't even fall into their mindset, and they don't even assume that that's a possibility until it's shown that it is. And that's the mindset that they want to give back to you. They're like, we want to give you back this throw yourself off the couch mentality, because we're going to catch you. And what's going to catch you here is this cup of chalice, and there's a King of Cups. So for someone watching, this is a new emotional start towards a very fulfilling love energy, someone who's very committed to you. Oh, Six of Cups. Back of the deck is the Chariot and the Page of Swords. They brought forward the Page of Swords here too to remind you that, like, everything that we went through in the past, your inner child is saying everything that we went through in the past, we can use as a lesson now. We can use all of this habitual way that we've adopted to attack our fear. We can use that as a lesson now, and we can use that to execute change. Nothing has to go to waste in the past here. But the Chariot, you can see holding on to this binoculars. We have the Page of Swords, which is a watcher. It's like we are going to be pulled in different directions. We have movement coming, and we have a choice. We can be a watcher or we can be a doer. And the doer The doers will be able to go through the Four of Wands here into celebration, into success, and the watchers will stay here in the present and nothing will really change. The Two of Swords, keeping our heart space blocked. But it also precipitates delays for us. You can see that the caterpillar is sitting on the mushroom, which is slow growth, and it creates more internal conflict that we end up feeling really regretful over. So your inner child says there's nowhere to go but up. It's kind of like someone who's giving us the option of free will, but saying like, you have free will, but over here is like negativity, over here is positivity. Which way do you want to go? So they're just adamant about this big change coming in for you, pile 3. And even the Six of Cups is talking about this reunion here between the two of you, which is lovely. You can see that it's a rat holding the cup. And Six of Cups is all about our nostalgia and our memories from the past. And, you know, the rat for me is a symbol of the ego. It's the ego sometimes that will flood us full of the disappointments or the insecurities from the past. But when we leap in spite of that, we're communicating that that holds no power over us anymore. We have the elixir, we have the electric eel, and we have the braid. Back of the deck is the solitude. It's coming out reversed. It reminds me of the hermit because of the heartbreak. It feels like very lonely, isolated. And, you know, this lonely and isolation, we can get used to anything, even a negative energy like that. But you can see the birds here. It looks like little dolls here, and the birds are not in flight. So it's like representing you and your inner child at this moment, that if you're stuck, they're stuck, right? So they're like, if you can't do it for me, or if you can't do it for yourself, do it for me. Because this leap of faith is not just going to bring about abundance for you. It also brings out a natural healing cycle for you as well, which steers you in a new direction and makes you see spiritual truths that help you rise above the emotional conflicts of the past, helps you to see it in a different perspective. And ultimately you are able to use those lessons to help other people who go through similar difficulties too. So it's like a gift that keeps on giving. This elixir, the little ghost here coming from the past, this is really speaking about ghosts from the past that are poisoning our experience in the present. This can also speak to sort of us taking on things that are not good for us to minimize some of those ghosts. So if you're, you know, there's addictions within that as well that may be asked to be released. But most importantly, this braid with the eel, this electric eel is the electricity inside of you and all of your potential. And this braid is like the status, the complacency. It's a fear of other people's opinions when I take certain actions. And you compare yourself to other people way, way too much. That's what your inner child says. No longer comparisons to other people because you're on a unique journey, and they wish that they hadn't compared themselves to other people so often in the past either. From your inner child. We have time to take our mask off, and we have the fates. It's time for a healing cycle. The 17 is the star, Aquarius energy. We also have Cancer here very strongly. What else do we have? We have Scorpio, Cancer energy. The fates is all about rebuilding and sort of reigniting a spark inside of us. It's a healing energy. It sets us on a new course. And, you know, there's something beautiful about this next chapter, because Spirit says, and your inner child says, that this person, especially if it's a person coming in for you, this person is in alignment with your soul contract. Like, you were supposed to cross paths with this person. But even if somebody's written into our chart, we still have power over that experience. We still can say yay or nay at that time. So they want you to take your masks off. They want you to be vulnerable, open up that heart space, and see where this next chapter leads you. Just see where, because sometimes, you know, the 14 is temperance and it's all about regaining that balance, but often in the collective, we will try to avoid imbalance and we'll try to avoid the conflict, and we won't solve it, we'll just run from it. And in this case, they want you to accept your feelings, let them flow over you so that you can move forward and give yourself the permission to leap into these new starts. And as I said, it's a fresh start for someone in a career. And even if it's in a fresh starting career, it's going to lead to new emotional abundance for you. And for others, it's a movement into a new emotional cycle with a divine masculine energy. Could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio coming in for you. We have here Peacock Spirit, let it shine. Look at the heart space. This came out in pile 2 as well. There are some similarities here to pile 2, so there may be a message waiting for you there. But it is about keeping that heart space open, because you're heading toward the divine masculine that has a lot of potential for security, for not just emotional security, but even financial security. And it's time to take the lead, because your luck is on your side. Fertility is on your side. Now is your time. Now is a lucky time. Back of the deck says, embrace the in-between, the flamingo spirit. And that's work. It's number 26. It's an effort to do that. We're going to have to put effort into the present moment, into this Two of Swords, into this heart space that's blocked, into this passive energy towards opportunities. And we need to reflect upon, where did that stem from? How can I clear that out? Messages from your inner child, please, for pile number. When you feel alone, we are with you. I just saw a passionate partner is coming. Stop beating yourself up over past mistakes, quote unquote, because mistakes don't exist in the spiritual realm. They're just educations. So there's no point in constantly going back to the why did I do that? How did, there's no point in doing that. We're just needing to take the lesson and move forward. When you move from kindergarten to, grade 1, you don't worry about everything you learned in kindergarten. You just take all of those lessons with you. You are a born leader. For someone, this is a job opportunity where you may have to step up and lead. You may be leveling up in your career, and you may be fearful that you don't have what it takes, but you absolutely do. Lay your worries at the foot of the cross. Don't look backwards. Ooh, unexpected money is coming. Unexpected offer or opportunity to make extra money. Divine timing is at play here, especially in the love realm, for someone heading towards their divine masculine energy. We have here, don't be scared. Don't be scared, but change is coming. And change is the only constant we can truly depend on. A passionate partner is coming, keeps coming up. So you are in for something big and beautiful and wonderful. Back of the deck says, you are so worthy. And sometimes we will not believe that. Sometimes we will fuel the exact opposite at ourselves, and that is instigated or instituted when we're young. But your inner child is here to say, I realize that I absolutely am worthy. Absolutely. Let's get a charm bowl, please. Charm bowl for pile 3. Messages from their inner child. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Hanged Man. And we have the King of Swords in the reversal. Now, this king, I don't know if you have dealt with negative energy or somebody who's really kind of cold towards you in the past too. That could have happened when you were a child, which really gave you a lack of confidence, or it's like an authority figure who may have even been a little bit narcissistic, like just not fair, kind of cold energy. And this has left you kind of afraid to make choices or make decisions in the present moment, which the Queen of Swords is so smart, so intelligent. You could be an air sign, potentially, but she's sideways in the bowl right now because she doesn't have that confidence. But that's why your inner child is coming forward to you to give it back to you. It's like, I want to give you back the confidence that we used to have before this person could have taken it away, because this is the authority that you need to be a leader, to move forward, and to cut people, places, and things, including energies, out of your life that aren't serving you anymore. Whoops. Okay. We have you. We have Leo energy in the bowl. We have 3 of Wands, expansion. You are moving forward here. We have forever friends. Forever friends, it's a puzzle piece. You'll always be a part of that divine trinity puzzle. We have the love and a foundation, so you're leveling up and into more commitments. In the future, we have a Wheel of Fortune, sudden turn of events, but here is the anchor right next to it. So this Wheel of Fortune was right in the center of your reading too, but we can't be passive about it. We can't stagnate, or else we will regret it. That's what your inner child is saying. We have a wrench in our plans, and it's right next to the butterfly of transformation, because that's what's needed here. We need to turn our gaze inward, and we have the fairy, which is someone who thinks that it's about wishful thinking. It's like, oh, it's naive of me to think that I could have A, B, or C in life. And that is the mentality that was adopted perhaps or instilled in you in the past, but that's the energy that your inner child wants cleared out, because you deserve every good thing. All right, pile number 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates. If it did, drop your comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. Be sure to hit your notification bell if you do so, though, so that I can actually respond to you and I can connect with you. You can check out my Etsy account for a personal reading if you feel called to, and I also have opportunities to win mini reads over on Instagram, so you can check me out there too. But I hope you have a great day, and I hope you come back here for a visit at the Tarot Cottage.